We welcome you to Community Comment. You're on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. News Director Kevin Haugen is in the Slumberland and Daily Dodge TV studios with Fox Lake Mayor Tom Bednarek and City Administrator Kelly Crombie.
Well, thank you very much and good afternoon. Welcome into today's Community Comment. As our producer Corey had mentioned, our guests this afternoon on Community Comment are with the City of Fox Lake. We are pleased to welcome into the Daily Dodge TV studio this afternoon Fox Lake Mayor Tom Bednarek and City Administrator Kelly Crombie. Thank you both so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been a while since I feel like we've had a real good conversation with the folks over in Fox Lake. It's been tough to hit all the common council meetings and committee meetings, so it's good to have you guys come in and give us an update. And there's a lot happening in Fox Lake that we had sort of briefly had a chance to discuss before we went on air this afternoon. But before we dive into all of that, I want to give us an opportunity to sort of introduce both of our guests here and just give a little background in terms of what your time at Fox Lake, how long you've been in the positions you've been in, and just give our listeners a little bit of detail about yourself. And Mayor, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, we moved into Fox Lake in 1967, and I got kind of the politic area. So I was 17 years as an alderman, and now I've been since 2010 as mayor. And I mean, we've seen a lot of growth in Fox Lake, and we're really proud of the direction we're going in. So it's everybody working together, and we've got some great people that we're employed with and working with.
Fantastic. Now, Kelly, when did you step into the city administrator role?
September of 21, so just under 3 years now.
3 years. And how's those 3 years been so far?
It's been great. It's gone by pretty fast. We got quite a bit going on in Fox Lake. Good mayor and council to work with, and a good staff. So
fantastic.
Everything a city administrator could want.
Yeah. Now, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that was Fox Lake operated by a city administrator form of government before Kelly came to town, or did that change?
We started quite a few years ago with a full-time administrator, and then he left to go to Rock County, and then we hired another one, and then he left to go someplace back up he was originally from Minnesota. So then I think it was in 14 that we went to a part-time administrator. But then over them 6 years, we've seen the growth in that, and I mean, you got to have somebody really schooled to do it, and that's what we looked at, and we're very blessed with this man sitting next to me because he's brought a lot to the table for the city of Fox Lake.
Oh, fantastic. Again, we are joined here today on Community Comment by Fox Lake Mayor Tom Bednarek and City Administrator Kelly Crombie, and we had mentioned here a couple times already, just briefly at the start of the program, just the amount of growth that Fox Lake has seen over the last 6-7 years, and really you could look back and start looking at that growth beginning when Leroy Meats came to Fox Lake when ground broke in 2017, and that retail store came in. And there's some exciting news to share with that establishment here happening this summer.
Yes, we talked to the owner last week. I was just to verify what we're going to, if we could do it in that, and there'll be a shovel going in the ground sometime this summer, and they're going to. It's actually going to double in size. They're going to bring. The existing building is going to be the production and the new part is going to be full retail.
Right.
So it's a great addition for Fox Lake again.
Yeah, and we had also briefly discussed just how Fox Lake, it's sort of not necessarily seen as a destination community for businesses, but Mayor, you have done a lot in the last 10, 15 years, and now Kelly here in the last 3 years to really change that with seeing more businesses coming with Dollar General. There's a Quick Trip now in Fox Lake. More apartment complexes being built. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But Mayor, just kind of, if you want, just spend a few moments talking about just the emphasis that you have put on yourself and your time as mayor to help see Fox Lake grow and help bring businesses into that community and help grow it.
A lot of it is that working together with the prospective businesses, and let's face it, in today's world, there's got to be incentives included because you're not going to get the businesses because everybody's offering incentives. But we look at our industrial park, it's full. We don't have any expansion room left in that, and that creates a job, so you need some place for them to live in that, and that's why we were working with the apartments and the housing and that, and the housing market in Fox Lake has been good. I mean, I think probably the interest rates might hurt it a little bit in the future, but it's been really good, and we've emphasized on working with people. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and Kelly, when it comes to the city administrator role, I'm sure it's a big component of your job as well to work with these businesses, get them to come into the community, and really explain to them why Fox Lake is a place that they want to put shovels in ground and build a store and grow and expand in that community.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun working with the businesses and the developers on the projects that we have going on. Leroy Meats, seen a business that's been around for decades and generations in this area, growing and thriving in this area. It's fun working with a Wisconsin business for the apartments. Seeing that project move forward. We're reviewing civil engineering plans right now, and just knowing that people will be living there shortly, and helping contribute to the economy and supporting businesses. It really helps put it all together.
Great, fantastic. Now with the Leroy Meats expansion project, there's no confirmed timeline yet, and when that is expected to wrap up or be done, or is that something that we are not sure yet at this point?
At this point, we're not sure when it's going to be finished, but he said there would be a shovel in the ground this summer.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. And that place, I had a chance to drive by it a couple times, and it always seems to be filled up in the parking lot with people. And it's one of those businesses that is something that people tend to want to drive to in order to visit. And that's exciting, I'm sure, to have that in Fox Lake is something that you guys can be proud of and promote as something that's in your community, which is awesome.
Very much so.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, we mentioned briefly, too, here during our conversation on Leroy Meats, apartments complex being added on here in the city that's happening this summer as well. There's 36 units, I believe, is the number. And Kelly, maybe if you want to give us a little bit, I know you kind of alluded to a little bit when you had talked a moment ago, but just kind of what that project entails and what we need to know.
Yeah, so it's an addition to the Fox Crossing project on the south side of Fox Lake as you're going towards Beaver Dam. It's a project run by Premier Property Management out of Wisconsin, and it's going to be 36 units with the possibility of 36 more at a later time, but 36 starting this year yet.
Exciting. And now, is there same question like with Leroy Meats? Is there an idea of when this project will be wrapping up and these units will be move-in ready?
Yeah, so they just finished civil engineering plans, and so those are under review by the city engineer right now, and so they're going to be starting yet before Labor Day, most likely, and then they should be occupied by the end of 25.
Fantastic.
So they want to be framing over the winter and getting that all put together.
Great, fantastic. Now, Mayor, you also mentioned this too, alluded to this, but maybe if you can expand on it as well. But just how is the housing situation in Fox Lake right now? Obviously, it's great that we're seeing growth with the 36 units being built with the apartments, but from your seat as mayor, what does that situation? Is it where you want it to be? Do you still see need for improvement there? But where is the housing situation at currently?
I think there's always, for a while yet, going to be a housing shortage on it, but I know that used houses, when they come up and that, they're gone, and there's a price break too, that, they're gone right away. But I think that we have to continue on housing to make sure that we've got enough housing for people in our area and surrounding.
Do you feel like there is appropriate land to develop those projects in Fox Lake? There's still space to grow those out and find room for housing projects in the Fox Lake area?
We do. We've got this project we're working on right now, and we did acquire, I want to say 2 years ago, I think, 60-some acres on the west side there too. So we're working with somebody that's getting back to us, so we hopefully that we can come up with something on that. But we've got quite a bit of
space.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, when it comes to apartments, single-family housing, multiple residential housing, is there an avenue that you feel is the most important to kind of focus on when it comes to expanding that housing in Fox Lake? We have the apartment project right now, but has there been words from people in the community as say we need more housing or single-family housing, or condo? Is there been conversations like that so far happening in Fox Lake?
Yeah, I think Fox Lake, like every community, needs every type of any housing, whether it's single family or multifamily. We've had a little bit better luck recently with some of the multifamily development that's that's been going on. Single family, we're working with a couple of developers that are looking at maybe a project, but right now no single families going on.
Yeah, and those projects, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like they tend to take time to develop and find a deal that works for both sides, and able to get a developer to come in and put those shovels on the ground, and they can be slow moving at times, and it takes a bit.
You're right. It has to be a win-win for both of our sides, and that's we've been fortunate that we've worked out enough of them.
Yeah, and
so
it kind of it goes back to the topic we were talking about before with the expansion of businesses and the growth guys are seeing there in Fox Lake, and that I'm sure that's an incentive too when businesses look at where they want to put their investment and their dollars into building these projects and say, hey, Fox Lake is seeing this growth with businesses expanding, new businesses opening up in the area. I'm sure that's something that you could kind of put a pin in your hat and say, this is awesome, that this is something that you can look at as a positive.
Give you a good example on one is that Caravan's done a great job at Fox Lake, but we've got Sally Tomato. She started in her garage and basement, and I guess the garage, and then downtown, and then they bought the old clinic, and now they're out there and they're talking now that they figure in 25 they're going to expand and double. And I mean, from 2 people to 30 some employees. I mean, they've done just a fantastic job for us in Fox Lake. That's just, and it all creates the whole big picture of which is housing and everything else that goes with it. Yes.
Yeah, and it's really cool to hear stories like that, because I feel like those are stories that you don't necessarily hear happening in larger communities or bigger communities, cities of a denser population. I feel like a success story like that is something that you could, not necessarily that it couldn't happen, but I feel like it makes sense that it happens in like a community of Fox Lake, that they support local businesses and people who are beginning on those ventures. And you can see that growth continue to happen over years. And like you mentioned, Mayor, that, it starts from a 2-person business and now they're employing over 30 people. It's exciting to see.
Yep. It is.
Awesome. Again, so the 36 apartments, again, Kelly, where's that project happening again?
33.
33? Gotcha. And I'm assuming there will be communication from City Hall to residents or just in general of, hey, this project is ready. Or even from the contractor themselves, that people can start sending in applications and touring the apartments, and people can start looking at filling those apartments up.
They built them other ones about 3 years ago, and I think it took them about 3 months to fill the 36
That's
units.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Now, is that kind of the contingency based on, if whether or not the other 36 apartments will be built? Is it, again, this is just me spitballing, but is it based on how quickly the 36 units will be filled up, and then looking at the need? Is that kind of what will determine?
Yeah, I think that's part of it is the need and what interest rates are and what the building costs would be, in a couple of years. So,
yeah, that's a big part of it too, is the building cost.
And I think as Fox Lake's been growing, Beaver Dam grows, Dodge County as a whole is growing. There's a shortage of housing because we're, I think, in a pretty good location in Dodge County, kind of between Madison, Milwaukee, the Valley. I think there'll probably be looking
opportunities
to build those. Yeah.
Exciting. Awesome. Fantastic. Again, we are chatting with Fox Lake Mayor Todd Bednarek and City Administrator Kelly Crombie here on Community Comment this afternoon. Also, another exciting project happening in Fox Lake, and so exciting enough that the governor of the state of Wisconsin made a little brief visit out to your community, was the Clausen Park project. And maybe for our listeners out there who aren't as familiar with this project, maybe Mayor or Kelly, whoever wants to take the lead on this, sort of fill us in on what this project is and what will be happening at Clausen Park.
Sure. So Clausen Park is our city park on the lake, and it's kind of the public access to the water in the city. And so we have the boat launch there and some playground equipment, and it's kind of dated and well used. So as part of this project, we applied for and received a DNR stewardship grant through the stewardship program. And so we got about a $315,000 grant for the project, a lot of community support and donations with fundraising. And so the project is going to be a new ADA kayak launch, a new fishing pier, some upgrades to the existing boat launch, new restroom facility. So that'll be right down there by the parking lot and the water, some walking trails. And then we're looking at next year, separate from the stewardship program, some improvements to the playground equipment as a local project. So I think, this project, it showed the community support of a small town getting behind this project, the state involvement with the stewardship program. The DNR gets a lot of bang for their buck because Fox Lake is such a well-used lake for day trips from Madison, Milwaukee area. So I think it's going to be kind of a game changer for recreational opportunities in Fox Lake.
Fantastic. Now, how important is it to have state funding available, like the stewardship grant that cities can apply for and receive funding, and really help close the gap financially for projects like this, so you can see them happen?
And the stewardship program is a great program that's been around for a long time in Wisconsin, and it really helps communities in those public spaces and maintaining them or acquiring them and preserving them for the public to get access to the lake in this case. And it's been good for us, and we're looking forward to the project being completed this summer.
Awesome. So the hope is that it is wrapped up and done this summer.
By Labor Day, we're hoping. So
Awesome.
It was really amazing just to add that to it, because we met with Senator Ballweg down there and they were, as Kelly stated earlier, she admired the community support that we had, because I mean it's been fantastic. We've got a few gals on the committee that have really worked hard, and I mean the rest of the sponsors and people in the community, private citizens and businesses have really, a lot of dollars have contributed.
They've been working with Tom Heffron from the Beaver Dam Area Foundation, and with advice and fundraising, and I think the support has been tremendous on that in getting us across the finish line.
I really feel like this is a grassroots effort to see this because I feel like in past on Community Commons we had members of the Clausen Park Committee come in to talk about fundraising efforts, and it's been on. And when roughly did this whole thing kind of really start to take off and really start to accelerate when it comes to this project?
Well, it really started on Crocker Street Park, and one lady got involved because she lives there, just close to it, and her grandchildren. So she got involved in it, and then they expanded that committee to both of them girls and plus a couple more committee members. And then yours truly asked them, would you spearhead something for Clausen Park? And they did not hesitate a moment, and they said yes, they would. So, I mean, we're looking at probably at least 4 years, 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there's a lot of there's a lot of people really excited to see the final end product here in a couple of weeks here. Hopefully, when things wrap up, will there be some sort of again, this may be a better question for the committee, but is there something planned for a final celebration when the project's done, a big community gathering event happening at Clausen Park?
I think we'll have I don't want to speak for the committee, but I think we'll have some type of a ribbon cutting, probably not as large as we did for the groundbreaking with the governor in attendance, but there'll be some type of more local, smaller recognition.
Fantastic.
This is our outlook too, is because when you build a housing and the people move to Fox Lake, you have to have something for them to do. So, I mean, we've got the parks and the boating and that, and I mean, now we're going to have the kayak launch and just different things that we do to just try to get people to stay in Fox Lake or spend in Fox Lake too.
Fantastic. Now, again, you'd mentioned this, Mayor, but just the support from members in the community and how important that is to see projects like this come to fruition and get something like this off the ground, because it really, at times, it can't be done without public volunteers and public support and people supporting this project, and that really maybe you feel differently, but maybe this really was what caused this project to happen and get done, is having that community support.
If you don't mind, I'll lead into the next subject.
Yes.
The community support has been just fantastic, and Kelly started something last year with sponsorship, corporate sponsors and sponsors for the swimming pool, and it has just blown up so much that it's just been fantastic. And we really want to thank our sponsors, because most of the summer has been free swimming, and this really helps the children too that can't afford to come there every day and that. And I mean, it's just our sponsors have been there's no hesitation. It's been fantastic, and we're very blessed to have people support that project, and that ties in with the Clausen Park and everything.
It's public support. It's also business support here, sponsoring these free swim days at Fox Lake and allowing this event to happen. And we want to mention that, of course, it's weather permitting, that whether or not that these swim days will happen. But are there any specific businesses that we want to shout out? Or are they available on signs people can see that they can recognize those who sponsor and help out?
Yeah, we have I don't want to single out anyone without having the whole list in front of me, but we have they're signed every day, and we put it on Facebook. The YMCA puts it on the Fox Lake Pool Facebook page for us too. So there's been local businesses from Fox Lake, of course, and then we've picked up some from Randolph, Waupun, and Beaver Dam area have all been involved too. So
Awesome. Fantastic.
and anyone from the area, whether you live in Fox Lake or not, is welcome to come. There's no resident checks or anything like that. So
It's all open to the public.
Right.
Anyone
It
can
is.
come.
It
Great.
is.
If any business say wants to also get in on this and support this, do they just reach out to City Hall or Kelly to you and get their information to
yeah,
you?
so all the days are pretty much filled
Yep.
for the rest of the year. We can still let a business sponsor free ice cream on a day if they wanted
great.
to. So
Fantastic.
we're always happy to
Have
let
the
somebody else get involved if they want.
Awesome. And maybe spend a moment, Kelly, just talking about where this idea came from and kind of what spurred you on to put something like this together.
I think, I was just thinking in different ideas that we could get the business community involved with the pool. And I think I came up with the days, and we had started it as we were just going to have it be a pilot program last year. And so the mayor and the council approved, I think, 10 or 15 days for the whole summer, and those were filled up right away. And so then we opened it up to all the days. And we don't cover the cost. The sponsorship fee roughly covers the cost of what we would have got at the gate received in admissions, and it's not the cost of running the pool for the day. So it's $200 for a weekday and $250 for a weekend, and so that it's been good. It's allowed businesses to get their name out there. Some have set up a table and had some information. Some have not, which is fine too. But it's been overall really good. It's allowed families that otherwise wouldn't be able to come as much. They can come, and hopefully they enjoy Fox Lake and maybe get some ice cream somewhere, or do something else while they're in town.
It's a fun summer day.
It is, and I think it's been good.
Awesome. Fantastic. Now, while they're whispering next to me here, maybe I'll let you continue on if there's anything you wanted to add.
So the mayor just wanted to say that we're going to have our first ever national night out this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so
Fantastic.
that's something I know, when I was mayor of Columbus, it was always a really popular event. Dodge County Sheriff does a number of events or participates, and it was something we had kind of kicked around for a little bit, and so we're going to try and do that this year. So that'll be the first Tuesday in August, which is the 6th of August. And so from 4 to 8, right at Fireman's Park, right by the pool there, free swimming until 8. We're going to have a local DJ do some music and karaoke. So he said, we'll try both and see where that goes, whichever is more popular. We're going to have free food from Leroy Meats and some ice cream, face painting. Salon 311 is going to do some face painting. Fire department, police departments, EMS will be there. DPW and the utilities are going to have some equipment. So we're really hoping it's our first one that we've done. So we're hoping that it's a good turnout.
Great. Is this something that has been kind of on the radar for Fox Lake for a time, and now is just the best time to get this started?
Since what, about last year you started talking about it.
Yeah, I think Marcy Benz, an alderwoman, and she's on the fire department and EMS. She kind of said, maybe could we talk about this? And we started kicking it around, and we got some good donations from some local businesses. I'm hoping it's a nice weather on that day, and that otherwise we'll have it inside at the community center, which won't be as fun. But we're really just hoping that it gives families and kids an opportunity to meet the first responders, see some equipment, have a good time.
Awesome.
So I think that'll be
And also the alderpersons and everybody, so that they can meet. Some of them don't even know for their
Sure.
word who they are. So it opens everything up, and I think it's going to be really a great night.
Yeah, I know it is. Like you mentioned, Kelly, it's a great opportunity for people in the community to meet with the first responders, law enforcement, and fire departments,
Yeah.
to see the faces of those agencies. And and anytime we had other members of law enforcement on to talk about National Night Out, they always say it's a great opportunity because a lot of times law enforcement will run into somebody on a day that is not necessarily their best day.
Mm-hmm.
So having events like this, I'm sure, really help those connections with the community.
I think it is, and I think National Nights Out's been around for years nationally. Bigger cities kind of do it a little different. Around here, it's pretty much an event in the park, and just seeing everybody, allowing kids to interact with police and firefighters and EMTs, and so I think it'll be good, and hopefully
Fantastic.
we have some good turnout. And
Awesome. Again, that's August 6th.
August first Tuesday in August, which I think is August 6th.
Okay, and starting at 6
4 to 8.
4 to 8,
4 to
okay.
8 we're doing. So
at Fireman's Park.
Fireman's Park, right by the pool there.
by the pool.
We're gonna have swimming till 8 that night.
Awesome.
Free music, free food, free ice cream, free drinks, and a chance to see some police equipment, firefighting equipment, and DPW.
Maybe if we can quickly just mention the address for Fireman's Park for people who have not been out in that area.
So it's 248 East State Street,
248
right where
East State.
A comes into town. If you're coming from Beaver Dam, so right where A68 meet.
Okay.
Right behind City Hall and the fire department.
Easy to. So once you see City Hall, you know you're close.
You got it.
Fantastic. And what are the hours regularly for the public pool there in Fox Lake? So people know too.
1 to 7.
1 to 7. Fantastic. Now, we only have a few more minutes left here on today's community comment, and just really one more quick topic we want to hit on before we let our guests go today here on our program, and that is just a quick shout out to a member of the staff here in Fox Lake who has been there a long time, just retired recently. Mayor, we just want to make sure we give an opportunity to shout out that individual and the work that they have put into in Fox Lake.
Eugene Hittner is retired on July 2nd, and he's been one of the most dedicated employees that I've ever worked with in it, and we just want to wish him a good, happy retirement.
Fantastic. So is there currently ongoing search for the next DPW director, or has that been filled already, or is that something that's
So
ongoing?
we filled the position on an acting basis with Chris, who's been with the city for about 18 years.
Yeah.
And then at the next council meeting, we're going to talk about how we want to move forward.
Awesome.
So-
Fantastic.
We're a firm believer to promote within if you
Yeah.
if you
If you have
earned
this,
it, yes.
fantastic.
So-
Fantastic. Well, on that note, I want to thank our guests this afternoon on Community Comment. Again, we are joined by Fox Lake Mayor Tom Bednarek and City Administrator Kelly Crombie. Thank you both so much for coming in today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And that will do it for today's Community Comment.